Well, hey guys, it is time for the video that a lot of you have been asking for, and honestly I've been wanting to make. If this is your first time here, my name's Jason. This is my 1950-ish, I'm not exactly sure, Chevy 5-window 4400. I bought this a couple years ago. I've since done a chassis swap onto a 99 Silverado 3/4 ton chassis. I airbagged the front, built a custom suspension for the rear. I'm putting a service body on it, and then basically hit the skids. Summertime came, got busy. It's just been sitting, but I've got some major updates. Time to get to it. Now, if you guys have been following this build, you might notice something different right in this region here. My original plan was to run the Silverado 350 fuel-injected engine that came in the truck with an ultimate goal of finding a 12-valve Cummins. And after tireless search on Facebook Marketplace, I have found the Holy Grail. I found a 94 or 95 Cummins 12-valve diesel with a P-pump. I don't know a whole lot about the engine, but I know that it hasn't been tampered with. The AFC has not been modified, the pump has not been turned up. It's basically a bone stock engine that looks to be in really good condition. So I've just got this thing sitting in here right now, but my goal for this video is to get the engine and transmission mounted. I want to get the cab mounted down, and hopefully get the front sheet metal back on, get the steering hooked up, and anything else that I can shove into this video. I really want to get going on this thing, so let's quit screwing around. First order of business is motor mounts. Now that diesel engine is going to be a tight fit in that Chevy frame, but I've made some cardboard templates here for motor mounts to transfer to steel. Now right now the engine is just sitting on a block of cedar on the cross member, and I've got some more cedar under the water neck there just holding the engine in place. I'm going to tack in these motor mounts the best I can before I pull the motor back out and finish weld them. That'll hold. Oh, you kidding me? Oh yeah. Big old chunk out of the threads there. And the only way to get that bolt out is either pull the starter or to pull the motor mount off. I think I might pull the engine mount. Let's do that. Gosh. Oh. Oh. Boogered up threads. Alright, well, I got the threads fixed on this engine mount bolt. Uh-oh. Well, I'm glad I pulled this off, because I am finding that the engine mount is cracked. So I definitely do not want to be using that. I'm going to have to find an engine mount, which, dang it. That puts the brakes on this part of it. I can still make a transmission cross member though. Dang it. All right, well today is Tuesday and a new motor mount will be here Friday via Rock Auto. So I am going to jump onto the transmission cross member now. So here's the motor mount, or the transmission mount. Boy, that hangs down a long way. And when I bought this engine and transmission, it was sitting in a chunk of frame. The seller just cut the frame off. And it's got this homemade cross member that's obviously not going to work. Well, let's see here. That actually, cut that down. That might work pretty good, actually. I think I know. Now my transmission isn't centered in the frame here, and I want to center it so that my driveline angle, my U-joints don't go cattywampus on me. Everything is straight with each other. The axle's pointing straight forward. I want the transmission to be pointing straight backward. So what that's doing is putting my starter really close to the frame on this side. I think I can clearance that. All right, another thing I need to check is when I air this out, how much room do I have between this cross member and the ground? I don't want to be dragging, so let's air it out. 1.5 inches, plenty. Let's get to boxing this in and getting my cross member modified. I ended up having some leftover brackets for my rear suspension that I was able to use on my cross member mounts and the bolts. So that worked out good. Now I have a new problem. This rear suspension that I built was taking into consideration that there was a carrier bearing right here that kept the driveline down low and then rose up to the axle when it was aired out. And now this transmission sits a lot higher. I'm going to have a one-piece driveline, so my rear suspension geometry is no longer going to accommodate a driveline. So I got to figure that out next. If this driveline was long enough, it would just clear my A-arm here at ride height, but once I let the air out, it would hit. But I will tell you, now that I'm doing this, it is a heck of a lot closer than I thought it was. I thought I was going to be way off. Man, that's not bad at all. I think that's an easy fix. Man, that is really, really close. That's going to be a lot easier than I thought. All right. Well, I finished out yesterday figuring out how long I need my driveline to be, or the prop shaft if you're across the pond. I need to add 8 1/4 inches to that. Today we got a break in the rain, so I'm going to push the Sassy chassis outside so I can lower the cab down and do the firewall modifications I need to do in order to fit this Cummins in there. Not a lot, but I'll get the chassis out of the way and knock that out real quick so that I can get this cab mounted down. Now fortunately this isn't going to require a whole lot of work. I just need to make a little notch here for the exhaust manifold, and I'm going to bring this up a little bit for the bell housing, but other than that it's going to fit pretty darn good. Alright, my plan is to just do a 3-sided cut here so that I can fold that in. There's a structural piece inside the cab that I don't want to cut through. So I'll get started with this cut and then I will determine how deep I can go on the inside. Didn't come out exactly how I thought that I had measured it out. I'm not sure what happened. Now, before, this top bolt was well, it would be hitting on the metal right here, right now. But I thought that I had this gap a little bit closer. And I mean, I can get my finger through there. Well, once I get my second motor mount built and installed, I will make sure that that's not going to be an issue. It wouldn't be a huge problem to take a little bit more out of this, but for now, I'm going to leave it because the body mounts are on, and that was my goal. I think I was probably a little more aggressive than I needed to be with this this cut here, but I'll be able to shape something out really nice. This floor pan, I mean, minimal modifications. A few months back, I tried to get this brake bracket mounted, but I was having a heck of a time, so I think I'm going to pull this trim piece off to give me access behind there. I've been fighting it. I'll probably have to take the gauges out too, but I'm going to start with this and see what that gets me. Whoopsies. Well, guys, I can't tell you how long I fought with this brake bracket, and it turned out, after pulling out the dash, I could see a little better. I had to take a little notch out of this end of it. This mounts up under the gauges. That's what it used to look like, and that's what it looks like. It's not really focusing, but I just took that little notch out because it wouldn't clear the speedometer. Hours and hours wasted. I don't think the included hardware is long enough. I need another arm. I don't know if I'm capturing the majesty of this operation with that camera angle, but trust me, it's awesome. Ouch. Oops. Oh, dang it. I dropped the nut and I can't feel it. Oh yeah. Ouch. 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 I don't know if I talked about this in a previous video, but this is the steering shaft out of the Silverado, and so is that. And I've got a pillow block bearing that I bought on Amazon a million years ago for a different project that I never used it for, but it fit the steering shaft perfectly. So I now have the steering wheel hooked to that, and this, oh, this might be fit. Let's see. And now when I turn the steering wheel, these things should turn. Jackpot! That is a big deal right there. That is pretty awesome. Well, I think I'm going to call it a night. I got a text this morning that my new motor mount will be here tomorrow instead of Friday, so that's cool. Hopefully I can get that in, get my motor mounts tacked in so that I can pull the engine and transmission again and get everything finished welded, and then I can finish that cross member that I hacked up so bad and get this thing sitting in there for good. Well guys, unfortunately that's going to do it for this one. FedEx texted me at 5 o'clock in the morning yesterday to tell me that my motor mount would be here today by 2. It is after 2 and the latest status is that it's in Portland. It's not out for delivery, so I'm going to keep plugging away on this thing though until I get the call to do that table work. Hopefully I'll have something else coming up. I've got plenty to do, so I'm going to keep plugging away. I don't want to put the front sheet metal on yet because I'm going to have to pull the engine again to get all the finished welding done. So I'll pull the engine, I'll probably run the brake lines and just start buttoning this thing up. And yeah, it should start coming together pretty quick. So I appreciate you guys watching. Stick around. I've got some more stuff coming up, table or truck, regardless. But we'll see you guys soon.